Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm here with Collin Russel. Thank you, Collin, for joining me here at Evanston, Wyoming, here with the R&K Hunting Company. This is quite a lodge.
It is. It is. The Queen Mountain Lodge here in Evanston, Wyoming has been an absolute blast to host folks out here. So this is the new location for us this year for 2024 for the Bergara Academy.
Yep.
And it's been awesome. We just went through kind of a modified version of it, but let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so let's first talk about the other personalities that you brought here. It's been really great to get to know the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we got yourself.
Yep.
We've got Zach with Mountains Mullets America, great guy out of Idaho.
Yep.
We've got John he's out of Texas with the Big Game Hunting blog, the podcast and website.
Joel from the Precision Rifle Network.
Yep, Joel, yep. He's been doing the Precision Rifle Network channel for quite a long time.
Yeah.
We got Ray with the X-Ring channel.
Oh yeah.
He's out there in the East Coast. Yeah, it's been a fantastic time.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna have a separate video where I'm going to introduce you to each of them and give you links to their YouTube channels. This is really cool what Bergara has done to create the Bergara Academy, where people could come and have some seat time at the bench and do positional shooting and all sorts of stuff to A, learn the fundamentals of shooting, and B, get some trigger time with these awesome Bergara rifles. So how did this academy come about?
Yeah, so it's been great. We've actually been doing a location in Montana for a handful of years. This year we wanted to extend that offering out in a new location. More folks can come out and do it and go through this. So right now, the classes that are out there with the Bergara Academies, they're based on learning the fundamentals, like you said. So we've had folks come out here that have never handled a bolt-action rifle before. We've got folks that have got a decent amount of experience, but what they get to do is come here, learn the fundamentals. They've got rifles that are already verified. So if you come to a class and there's so many different variables involved there to determine whether or not a rifle's going to shoot, which would slow the course down. We've got everything here provided for the students. So all walks of life. So they go through a little bit of classroom portion in the morning on the first day. The first full day. You fly or drive in the day before. Do your classroom stuff, go over some of the basics, setting the rifles up, all that kind of stuff to give you some basic knowledge there. You go over what we're gonna cover in the course for that afternoon and the following day, which is gonna be a lot of different positions, whether it's on a tripod, whether it's sitting on a hillside using a bipod or a backpack, or laying prone, or really anything you can imagine in a hunting scenario. And then we get people comfortable enough to where we can stretch the legs out there. And like we did today, we went a little farther than normal, but what that does is it builds up that confidence so that when you have an animal at 300-400 yards, you've got way more confidence knowing that you've gone way past that.
Yep.
So it feels a little bit more like a chip shot and a more ethical shot, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and instead of learning from Uncle Larry, who may or may not know bolt-action rifles really well, you've got experts.
Sure, yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, that's my way to learn, is go straight to the experts and then just soak it up,
It is, yep.
Yeah. And we've had quite the selection of rifles here. This is kind of basically what we talked about at the SHOT Show this year, but
it is.
Now he's shooting them out we went to 2,700 yards today.
We did, we poked some out there today.
Okay, so more about that in a second. Let's walk through what we got here.
Yeah, so for the academies, when someone comes out for the academy, it's a very standardized setup. So we've got the Wilderness HMR carbons, all in 6.5 Creedmoor. Yep. Everything is set up the same so that from a student-instructor relationship there, when it comes to spotting, everything's easy to give feedback and for consistency's sake. For what we had here, we did that yesterday on the first day, so everything was very similar to what a student would get. But then on top of that, yes, we have all the 2024 stuff here that we announced at SHOT that you got to play around with, and then now is out available to the public. And every one of these was fantastic. Everyone on this table and a couple more that we have sitting over there, we did over 1,000 yards with consistently. Yeah. In different positions and all that, and being able to mess with everything. Like the Sierra here is a new offering that's in our Wilderness family. Fluted barrel, adjustable cheek piece. I would be willing to say the Sierra models that we had here, I think probably had the most rounds through them during this trip. So,
and we did a full video on that. The highlight for me was the M5 bottom metal cut.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that you could swap a DBM and use an AICS magazine with it, or use the hinged floor plate. features and weight and price point, kind of hard to beat for that like
It is.
budget with a lot of features all kind of mixed together.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, out of the whole lineup of all the new stuff that we had this year, it's the second from the least expensive offering that we have.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So this is an absolute great hybrid rifle for someone that wants to get into hunting, doesn't want to carry something super heavy,
Yep.
or anything that has more of a chassis type setup. They like that traditional stock. This has been awesome.
Yep.
You know, we had John that was the only lefty, and having this available and left-handed as well.
Yep.
You like couldn't get the thing out of his hands. He loved it.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. But
We got Stoke, which is new, right?
yep,
That's
the Stoke is
compact
new.
model.
So this is the more compact model. So it's got like a 13¼ inch length of pull for smaller frame shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think almost every one of us shot that one too, and we had guys that are over 6 foot that were with us. That's a great little offering too at about $800 MSRP. So
yeah, and if your kid grows up, you throw a few length of pull spacers in there,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
can keep up with it.
yeah, that's the one that you can absolutely grow into. You know, good starter rifle or a small frame
Yep.
person. That's a great setup.
Absolutely.
So
And we got the Crest Carbon.
Crest Carbon, yep, you're very well aware of that one. That's been a huge highlight for us this year as well with the stock that we built ourselves. With the Cure carbon fiber barrel, that's been a fantastic offering. I think the second one that probably got the most rounds out of everything in here is the MG Microlight right behind you.
Dude, that thing impressed me. I'll tell you why. It just was so easy to hit targets with in such a compact form factor.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like the ultimate truck gun.
Yeah,
You
and,
know?
and a lot of the guys, I mean, all of us here, we were shooting that off of a tripod standing at 1,000 yards
Yeah.
with consistency.
Exactly.
I think the ergonomics of that XLR chassis help out a lot, having the ARCA in the front built in.
Folder.
The folder, yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's a great, fun little package.
Yep.
6.5 Creedmoor is what we were shooting here, but also in 308 and 6.5 PRC is available, so.
We got 6.5 PRC coming up very soon on the channel. I just got into the shop. So we're going to have a ton of fun with that. Because I
Yeah.
think
Oh, yeah.
this and 6.5 PRC is going to take it to the next level.
Oh, it's going to be a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
A little
Yeah.
bit more recoil, but a lot more stopping power as well.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. I think guys are going more towards magnums with shorter barrels, I've noticed.
Yep. I mean, look at what we have here too. Like every one of these rifles we ran suppressed today.
Yep.
We're obviously pretty big advocates of taking care of your hearing protection as well, or your hearing as well. And having that on there is really nice. Obviously, when you put it on a full length rifle, you're adding, 5 to 8 inches depending on what suppressor you put on there.
Yep.
That's where having that shorter barrel on that Microlight is super nice, because even with that thing fully open, you're still shorter than some of these rifles without the suppressor.
Yeah, and you
So,
throw a brake on it, and then it's super, super compact.
very tiny, very
Yep.
tiny. Yep.
And we got the MG Light itself. This is in 7 PRC.
Correct. Yeah. So the additions to the existing lineup for 2024 from last year, though, is adding 7 PRC to a few of them. So the Crest and the Crest Carbon, the MG Light, those also got 7 PRC, as well as our Ridge Carbon and a few others. So that's why we have that one out here too, just so we can stretch the legs on the 7
Yep.
PRC. And the 7 PRC got some hits today at 1.5 miles.
Yeah, so I had a first round impact at 1 mile with this guy
Yep.
this morning, which was totally awesome. Now I did have a little help. Guys were shooting ahead of me. So I can't claim like cold bore, I figured out the dope or anything, but still,
Sure.
nonetheless, that's pretty impressive. And then, we went up later to the hilltop and we were at 2,700. We had a 15 mile per hour wind.
Yeah,
Right? More wind.
yeah, it was more wind.
I was
Yeah.
skeptical.
It was a gamble.
I was
Yeah.
totally skeptical. Yeah. But I had 2 hits out of 14 shots that I took. Quite a poke with a 300 PRC.
Yep.
But it just goes to show that's a 1.5 miles.
Sure. And I think Zach got a hit with the 7 PRC
Yes.
at 2,700.
Yeah. Very impressive. And it
yeah.
wasn't that we were all over the place. It was like dancing on the left and the right hand side because we had that wind that was switching up. So
Yeah.
I was really impressed with how consistent the 300 PRC I was shooting shot.
Absolutely. And I think too, having that Cure carbon barrel kind of goes to show that it is actually getting some of that heat out.
Yeah.
With that stainless mesh that we designed into those barrels.
Yep.
So it really helps get that heat out where, we had another rifle today in 300 PRC that was all steel and that thing was boiling. It was, it's a totally different setup.
Yep.
Heavier and all that. It's designed for a different use. But it really helped put the proof out there,
Yeah.
showing that we're drawing some of that heat out of there, you know, with that cure barrel. So
Yeah.
ton of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Everybody, I think probably the highlight for me, and I don't know if this is, you know, being a dad and all that, like you could get some of this too, but being able to see someone like John, who's very focused on hunting specifically.
Big game hunting podcast.
Yeah. I don't want to steal his thunder, but like
Right.
he did his personal best over 2,100 yards.
Yeah.
Over the longest shot he's ever taken.
Yeah.
And most of that was just because of range availability.
Yeah.
So having this vast area out here in Wyoming gave us the opportunity to say, hey, let's give 2,700 a shot.
Yeah.
And for someone like him that's never even tried to stretch the legs, with the expertise that guys like you, Ray, Joel, and Zach got to bring to the table to help guide him and me and anybody else here, that was invaluable. And that was fun. Like I get more enjoyment out of seeing other people succeed like that. Kind of like the first time your spouse or kid or friend, someone gets an animal. I think that's awesome.
Well, everybody has experience that they bring to the table and unique perspectives. I was surprised at how much I have in common with all these guys, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
no, I could not have asked for a better group of guys.
Lifetime friends, you know, and good stuff. And another thing that I took away from this visit was I've got a really great set of ideas for videos. Like when I was listening to what you guys cover in the Bergara Academy, I was thinking like, well, what about a video just A to Z setting up a hunting rifle?
Sure.
Right? Because that's what you guys cover, like mills versus MOA, and then what rail do I need? What scope do I want, right? And you know, there's a lot of decisions to make, but a lot of it can boil down to a really simple flow chart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like I'm inspired by, you know, the surroundings, the lodge, the people. It's been really, really great. So thank you for putting this together.
Absolutely.
I really, really
It's been a
appreciate
blast.
it. What I'd like to know from you all is, what do you think about the Bergara Academy? Would you want to come to it? And we'll get to that in just a second, the follow up on where to go for that. And then also, what do you think about these awesome rifles that we were shooting? And then, you know, do you have other related experiences with Bergara you want to share? Drop a comment and we'll start that discussion down in the comment section. So if people do want to know more about the Bergara Academy, where do they go?
Yeah, so you can go to bergarausa.com. We've got two locations. We've got the Wyoming location and the Montana location. Obviously, the Wyoming location, we've got these facilities that we just got to cover. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. So if you go in there, you can register for some courses. I think there's a few left for this season, but go ahead and get in there, get registered for next season, because those are going to fill up super fast. I think as soon as we open them up this year at this location, they almost completely filled up almost immediately. So so get in there, get signed up, and come out here and have a blast.
Right on. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.